Hello there, a very good Saturday evening. You are tuned on to the weekend edition of Primetime News. Well, we are coming to you live and direct from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. And I'm Joel Outskoon. Let's start off with a look at tonight's headlines.
Deputy Chairman of Karandiniya Pradesh Sabha Donald Sampath shot dead. Deputy Minister Thevara Peruma reveals how millions were spent on the elections. Inclement weather affects a number of areas. Veteran screenwriter Somavira Senanayaka passes away.
And moving on with the stories in detail on our lead story this evening. Now, Deputy Chairman of the Karandiniya Pradesh Sabha Donald Sampath was shot dead last night while travelling in his SUV. Police have arrested one person for his suspected involvement in the crime.
Two men on a motorbike had opened fire at the SUV in which Donald Sampath and three others were travelling in from Uragas Manhandia towards Karandiniya. Police said the motorbike had met with an accident while fleeing the scene. One suspect was injured and had admitted himself at the Uragas Manhandia hospital for treatment. Police said this suspect, identified as 22-year-old Asela Ranasinghe alias Magala Gavaralage Puta, is the rider of the motorbike and he has been arrested. Police seized a motorbike used by the suspects, a T-56 assault rifle magazine and a mobile phone, and police suspect the assassination could be the result of a dispute between two underworld factions. The younger brother of the slain deputy chairman of the Karandiniya Pradesh Sabha is currently in remand custody for the possession of a firearm. Police said the slain politician had maintained a friendship with an underworld leader from the south known as Koskoda Suji. However, it had turned into a rivalry some time back. Several local politicians paid the price with their lives due to underworld activity in the recent past. The most recent incident took place on the 24th of May when Dehiwala Mount Lavinia Municipal Councillor Ranjit De Silva was assassinated by an underworld gang.
On to more crime news this evening. Now, two members of an organized criminal gang were killed in a shootout with the police special task force this evening in the Wattegama area.
One of the suspects has been identified as Baila, also known as Rumal Shah Iresh Madhushanka Navagamua. The police media spokesperson said the suspects had collected extortion money from individuals in Ranala, Athuragiri and Homagama. This afternoon, the police special task force has set up a roadblock in the Madawala area on the Wattegama-Teldenia road after being informed about the movement of an organized criminal. The STF had ordered a luxury car to stop, and when it was being searched, the suspects had opened fire at the police special task force personnel. The suspects were injured in STF retaliatory fire. However, they were pronounced dead upon admission to the Katogastoda hospital. Police said a revolver and a pistol were recovered from the scene of the crime. Police said the two organized criminals had around 11 cases filed against them for homicide and robbery. Police media spokesperson SP Ruan Gunasekara said the gang members were associates of notorious underworld leaders Makandure Madush and Angoda Lokka. Lasanta Chandana Pereira alias Angoda Lokka and Makandure Madush, who are in hiding overseas, are accused of committing a number of murders. Angoda Lokka is charged with killing Damit Udayashanta alias Samayan and 5 of his associates by launching an attack on a prison's bus in Kalutara on the 27th of February 2017. Makandure Madush is accused of launching an attack on a group of officers including IP Neomal Rangajiva of the Police Narcotics Bureau on the 10th of May 2017 in Piliandala. One police officer was killed in this attack.
And shifting your attention to some news from the political sphere. Now, politicians commented today on MPs and ministers who are involved in the central bank treasury bond scam.
If one had given money with the intention of looting public funds, and if money had been taken while being aware of that intention, that is a serious offence. Parties receive funds during election campaigns. If someone had taken money in that manner, it is wrong. My name can never be in such a list. If it does and is proven, I will leave my post of Deputy Minister, MP and will leave politics. If one was aware of this and accepted money, the first thing one must do is resign. If one was not aware when accepting the money, one should at least apologize to the people. I believe this is what politicians must do. If someone had taken money from the bond scam, they need to be exposed no matter their rank and status. Sujeeva Senasinghe says he fainted when he got to know that his police security officers and personal staff had given evidence. Do not try to be a baby. He came to Colombo as a prince. The people are well aware how he reached this position. Can he purchase hotels and land with the parliamentary salary given to him? When a villager loots and is taken to court by police, can you ask him to pay for the damages or to release that person? We ask for the law to be enforced and he be removed from his ministerial position. We ask the party to cancel his party membership and remove him from the party.
And in related news, General Secretary of the Communist Party and former Chairman of COPE, DEW Gunasekara, has urged the Parliament to take immediate remedial measures or face the consequences following the recent revelations of the bond scam.
In a brief interview with The Island, Gunasekara said it would be the responsibility of the Parliament to cleanse the institution. Gunasekara says political parties and groups represented in Parliament should be held accountable for taking tangible measures in that regard. Gunasekara said the Parliament was facing the worst post-independence crisis with financial scandal involving still undisclosed number of lawmakers and tainted primary dealer Perpetual Treasuries Limited, now suspended by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. He alleged that payments received by lawmakers from Walt and Raw Associates and W.M. Mendes and Company Limited, subsidiaries of PTL, in the run-up to the August 17, 2015 parliamentary polls and after had caused irreparable damage to the parliamentary system. Referring to recent revelations regarding UPFA parliamentarian Dayasiri Jayasekara and State Minister Sujeeva Senasinghe receiving 1 million and 3 million rupees respectively, Gunasekara said the Parliament should review its recent decision to reappoint them to the COPE. Gunasekara pointed out that Attorney-at-Law Senasinghe made a desperate bid to prevent him from releasing the first COPE report that extensively dealt with the first Treasury bond scam perpetrated on the morning of the 27th of February 2015. Gunasekara insisted that the Treasury bond scam exposed many politicians and it also proved the judiciary, officers of the Attorney General's Department as well as the Criminal Investigation Department could tackle any case if they were given a free hand.
Well, you're tuned on to the weekend edition of Primetime News. Well, on to a very interesting story. Now, Deputy Minister Palit Thevara Peruma says after spending millions on the elections, there's a balance of 9.4 million rupees.
When there is a parliamentary election, people would even sell off their own wives to win the votes. Can they obtain another wife? This is a situation. They would accept money no matter where it comes from. I secured 118,000 votes in the Kalutara district without spending a red cent. But after spending millions, 9.4 million rupees was saved. The money was from the poor people. How much was looted during the time of Mahinda Rajapaksa? For the expressway, 8,000 rupees was spent on a centimetre. However, the chairman of the National Elections Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, yesterday said election finances need to be done in a more transparent manner. Many are asking about election finances and who took money and who didn't take money. This is like a competition. We have been calling for measures to put a stop for this since the time of the Department of Elections. Since 1977, under the electoral system, the candidates must declare their expenses within a month. Back then, it was only 33 cents per vote. We have made a proposal that even when there is a local government election, the amount spent by a candidate must be declared and a report must be given as to how the money was acquired. In the People's Court next time, it will be evidence how much was taken and from whom. You can acquire those details via the Right to Information Act.
Minister of Sustainable Development, Wildlife and Regional Development, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca visited the Pinnaval Elephant Orphanage yesterday.
ඒකේ තිබුණා විශාල විෂමතාවයක් තිබ්බා.
There were discrepancies. My basic parliamentary salary is 65,000 rupees. With the tax, around 75,000 is taken off. I think there is a flaw in the system. We are taxed for the vehicle we use and the office equipment. I think this system is not practical. I think this affects the public servants and secretariat as well. This system needs to be fixed. However, according to the website of the Department of Inland Revenue, 30,000 rupees is charged as tax when the monthly income is up to 350,000 rupees. Thereafter, a 24% tax is applied. According to what Minister Sarath Fonseca says, his monthly salary needs to be 537,000 rupees.
State Minister Palitha Range Bandara attended an event to award scholarships in the Anamadu area this morning. Now, at the event, he commented on the accident caused by his son recently.
I have a son who is taller than me. I sent him for an event recently which was attended by businessmen. When he was returning, the vehicle met with an accident. A vodka bottle was discovered from inside the vehicle, but it only contained water. The media portrayed it saying Yashoda caused an accident and there was alcohol involved. It is State Minister Palitha Range Bandara who is reprimanded for the accident caused by the son. A state minister attended another event this evening and questions were posed to him there as well. This is the first time he caused an accident while at the wheel. Legal action has been taken. It's been 3 years since he was appointed. Another team works under him and they engage in those activities.
Well, reports have surfaced that 6 UMP backbench parliamentarians are to be appointed as deputy ministers.
They will be appointed as deputy ministers based on their talents and seniority. 16 ministers and deputy ministers resigned recently. Some ministries are vacant. There are no deputy ministers in both my ministries. It is better to award them to 6 individuals. We hope it will be done soon. Yesterday, Muhammad Ismail, who represents the All Ceylon Makkal Congress and entered Parliament from the UNP national list, was sworn in as a Member of Parliament. Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa made a revelation at that moment. The Southeastern University of Sri Lanka is in Oluwil. There were serious allegations made against a former Vice-Chancellor of the university. He had used university funds to maintain his residence and pay the utility bills. When I came here today, someone told me the person who faces these allegations was sworn in as a parliamentarian. COPE has recommended these matters be investigated and the law to be enforced. The University Grants Commission is taking action. In the meantime, he is sworn in as a parliamentarian. Is there an attempt to appoint such tainted individuals as deputy ministers? The aspiration of the people is that MPs with a clean slate and suitable qualifications be appointed as deputy ministers.
And in news from the Prime Minister, now Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe declared open the Aswatha Ranwala Bridge, which links the Colombo and Gampaha districts.
Mahinda Rajapaksa said once his government comes into power, taxes will be reduced by 20%. I wish to ask how he is going to bring down the taxes. He set the record for increasing the debt by 3-fold. The people of the country are paying for his sins. That is why taxes have increased. Our revenue has increased, but we will have to impose new taxes. I am aware the prices of goods have increased. Some people who are experiencing for the first time pay only a small tax for the rent. I ask one question from Mahinda Rajapaksa. When you reduce the revenue by 20%, will you increase the loans that you take? Or will you put a stop to the development? Give us an answer. Though the Prime Minister says so, during the 3 years he was Prime Minister, the internal loan percentage of the country had increased. When Mahinda Rajapaksa was elected President in 2005, the total debt obtained by the country at that time was 2,222 billion rupees. In 2010, that is when Mahinda Rajapaksa reached the halfway mark of his decade-long reign, the debt had increased to 4,590 billion rupees. When the new government was elected following his defeat in 2015, the total debt of Sri Lanka was 7,391 billion rupees. As of 2017, under the present government, the total debt of the country had increased to 10,313 billion rupees.
Addressing an iftar ceremony organized by the National Muslim Collective yesterday, former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa expressed these views.
It is no secret that during the last few years of the previous government, there were strong efforts by various parties, both in Sri Lanka and abroad, to drive a wedge between the Mahinda Rajapaksa administration and the Muslim community in Sri Lanka. This was done in very organized manner. The lies that were spread with the community and actions that were instigated to cause unfortunate incidents led to a perception that the Muslim community has a cause to be wary of the Rajapaksa administration. This is very far from the truth. But sometimes I agree we could have done certain things differently. Unfortunately, the false impression created by these lies and such orchestrated incidents was so strong that we were unable to convince many in the Muslim community about the sincerity of the Rajapaksa administration.
Mahinda and Gotabaya have grown a sudden affection towards the Muslim community since late. They know they can't win these votes without that affection. Remember what this affection is for. Do you remember Berwala? Something very wrong happened during our government in Kandy as well. I remember how much powers our president used to resolve the crisis. The truth is, they created a huge dilemma on racism. And now, racism has led to extremism and may even move to the point of terrorism.
The 77th model village constructed under the Udagamana program was declared open today by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajid Premadasa.
This village was constructed in the Ihalagalkandegama area in Madawachya, Anuradhapura. The village comprises 16 houses and is named Turunugama. Title deeds were presented by the minister. As the son of the late Ranasinghe Premadasa, I can say even if a tsunami comes, we will build 2,500 villages. We saw what happened when one person tried to carry out development projects in a rush. What the political authority does is tie a noose around the person who works in a hurry. One end is drawn to the presidential palace and the other is drawn to temple trees. When I took over the Ministry of Housing, the ministry did not have any data on the housing issue. But today we have drawn up plans and we have created goals and we will achieve those goals.
For shifting your attention to some weather-related news this evening here at home, gale winds affected a number of areas in the country over the past 24 hours and destroyed nearly 16 houses.
Gale winds were experienced at 3 this morning, damaging over 75 houses across 4 Grama Seva divisions, including Vavagedara in Kurunegala. A correspondent said 15 houses were destroyed and around 300 people have been displaced. State Minister of Irrigation and Water Resources and Disaster Management, Palithirange Bandara, visited the area to inquire into the situation. Gale winds also affected the Niyagamba Divisional Secretariat in the Gaul district. Our correspondent said the landlord was seriously injured after a tree uprooted and collapsed on his house. Gale winds also affected the Baddegal area. Our correspondent said strong winds affected the Udapahanagama, Naguda, Unanvitia and surrounding areas. A tree fell onto a vehicle which was travelling on the Pilimathalava, Daulugala main road this afternoon. Our correspondent said a nearby house was also damaged. A tree had fallen onto the Hatton Norwood road due to heavy rains and gale winds experienced in the area since last night. Transportation along the road has been hampered while the electricity supply to the area has been disrupted. Gale winds were experienced in the Saliapur area in Hatton this evening.
Now, the latest warning coming out from the Department of Meteorology, they say that the prevailing windy conditions is expected to continue over the island and in the sea areas around the island in the next few days. Therefore, the Disaster Management Centre has requested the general public to remain vigilant in this regard. Moving on with more news this evening, Minister Lakshman Kiriyala, convening a media briefing recently, responded to allegations made by environmental organizations that investors are awarded lands for projects in the Knuckles Forest Reserve.
Show us where this has happened, not with facts. There are no facts to claim certain areas were given. There is nothing about this, nothing to say.
However, yesterday on News First, we exposed a quartz extraction project currently underway at the Ratwat estate, which comes under the Alcadur plantations located in the Dumbara range. The area covers 9 divisional secretariats across 2 districts in the Central Hills.
Not a single project has been approved to take place inside the Knuckles Forest Reserve. We invited Sajiva Chamikar for this media briefing. We asked him to send a representative at least, but there is no one. He says we were invited for the media briefing. When the invitation was extended, it was around 9:20 in the morning. At that time, I was delivering a lecture to a group of police officers following a program in the Kirlapana police area. That was the first time an invitation was extended. The caller said I was to be informed about the media briefing the previous day, but they had failed to do so. So they wanted me to come to the media briefing right away. I told them I was delivering a lecture to a group of police officers and it was not possible for me to attend at that moment. 10 minutes later, they called me and said the minister had arrived and they asked if I was on my way. That was the only thing that happened. I did not get any other invitation for that event. I must make it clear. When you take a look at these lands in the estates, we should preserve them and not privatize them. We need to develop them for tea cultivations. As a person who lives in an estate, soil conservation is paramount in this area. We need to protect them, and I do not know why they are trying to privatize these lands. We oppose this. We challenge the minister to come for an open live debate with us at any media institution. We will explain everything step by step to the people. We will expose the land grab taking place in Dumbara. We will expose how they are changing the legislation and what steps they have taken to realize their plans. We will expose everything. There is a need for another body to inquire where the recommendations made in the license are being followed. It needs to be represented by the public and experts. It is clear to us when the minerals are being extracted, these recommendations have been violated. They have threatened the provisions under the law and legal action can be instituted.
Former Chief Executive Officer of the South Asian Institute of Technology and Medicine, or SITEM, Dr. Samira Senaratne was arrested by the CID when he arrived to provide a statement. Now, last year, shots were fired at his car near SITEM and he was summoned to the CID to record a statement over the matter. Senaratne was produced before the Kaduvela Magistrates Court and was remanded until the 14th of June. And we move on to some sad news here at home. Renowned novelist and scriptwriter Soma Veerasenanayake has passed away at the age of 74.
Soma Veerasenanayake was born on the 25th of November 1944 and is a graduate of Vidyodaya University. He made his venture into literature through his journalism career. His most famous books are Yashoravaya Ha Manik Nadiya Galabasi. He is also the screenwriter for the Palingu Manike, Asal Vasio, Yashoravaya, Kanda Gedara, Du Daruo, Nadayo and Giraya teledramas. The late Senanayake was a father of 2.
In sports, Sri Lanka won another gold medal at the Asian Junior Athletics Championship 2018. Today, on day 3, Sri Lanka athletes won a bronze medal, renewing a Sri Lankan Junior Athletics award. Sadly, due to the unwarranted decision made by sports authorities, Sri Lanka lost the opportunity of winning a gold medal in the girls' 100 meters relay event.
Asian Junior Athletic Championship 2018 is taking place in Japan, and the Hong Kong girls 100 meters relay team won the bronze medal by clocking 47 seconds. However, at the recently held South Asian Junior Athletic Championships, the Sri Lankan girls 100 meters relay team clocked a time of 46.23 seconds to win the gold medal. But sadly, this team was not given an opportunity to compete at the Asian Junior Athletic Championships. Yet, the authorities claim this particular team had not fulfilled the required qualifications. Sports commentators believe the Sri Lankan girls relay team, which was not allowed to compete, could have put on a challenge to the Hong Kong team that won bronze by clocking 47 seconds. But the decision made by the sports authorities could have cost the country a possible gold medal in the event. Parmi Vasanti Maristella from the Kuliapitiya Central College won gold in the girls' 3000 meters steeplechase on day 3 of the games. She set a personal best with a time of 10 minutes 21.54 seconds. Dilshi Kumar Singha of the Valala A. Ratnayaka Vidyalaya won the bronze medal in the girls' 800 meters track event, renewing a Sri Lankan junior athletic record. She clocked a time of 2 minutes and 4.53 seconds. Yesterday, she won gold in the girls' 400 meters track event. Sri Lanka currently holds 2 gold medals, 3 silver medals and 1 bronze medals in the games.
Shifting gears to some rugby news here at home. Royal College Colombo beat St. Peter's College Bambalapitiya 32 points to 13 earlier this evening to win the Inter-School Rugby League. The two locked horns at the Royal Complex to determine the winner of the league. At the end of the first half, the Royalists were ahead with 12 points to 3. Royal College's 12 points was made up of 2 tries and 1 conversion, while the Peterites managed to score a penalty. The Royalists added to their tally in the second half with 20 more points, scoring 3 tries, a conversion and 1 penalty, while the Peterites scored 10 more points with 1 try, a conversion and a penalty. Royal College's unbeaten run in the tournament ensured they formed the Rugby League for the 2nd successive year. Well, you're now up to date on the latest and trending stories here at home, around the globe and be the sporting arena. Well, if you missed out on any of this news, simply log on to our website, that is www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Joel Outsco, and have yourself a great evening ahead. Take care, good night and God bless you.